Hey guys, hide in the shade here for my market update coming to you from the Public Garden for the month of March 2021 here in Back Bay. So the housing market has rebounded pretty significantly in terms of buyer activity in the past 2-3 weeks. We've seen a pretty good uptick in actually homes that were on the market maybe 60, 70, 80, 90 even days, didn't sell, and then, did a price adjustment and had multiple offers. So the market's definitely turned quickly. And I think that's a good sign of things to come. If we look at year-to-date 2021 versus year-to-date 2020, the market has been very, very similar, which is good. So we're at pre-pandemic levels of activity, which is definitely a good sign. In the month of March, we saw 51 homes go pending, which was actually the highest number that we've seen in almost, I think, 18 months. So the activity's been super strong in terms of homes being sold in the past 30 days. Again, a really great sign. If we look at that compared to the prior year, so all of 2020 and what we've seen year to date so far, that's the highest number, 51 homes sold in 02116. So definitely, again, a good thing. That has resulted in the second highest sales volume. So there's about $64 million worth of sales in the month, which was the second biggest month since the pandemic started. And good news there. In terms of list prices, so list to sale price ratio is holding pretty steady. So we've actually seen a sale to list price ratio of about 95%. So homes are selling at about 95% of list, which is pretty comparable to what we saw in 2019. So the pre-pandemic full year. So 2019 was the last full year that we have of data. That number was about 97%. So pretty comparable. The average price year to date is about $2 million. And that's up from about 1.8 in full year 2019. So last year, there was a little bit of increase, kind of flat and got a little bumpy in terms of price gains. But if we look at it over full year 2019, the average price of a condo, just at a really broad high level, was 1.8 to 1.9 million. We're up at about 2 million right now. So mortgage rates are creeping up, which is going to put some kind of hesitation or pause on upward pricing. Rates for the 30-year fixed are somewhere in the range of 2.9 to 3% right now, depending on your credit. So something to keep in mind. So before I go ahead and dive into the data here for the month, that's a high-level overview. We'll take you through some more of the detail now. This first graph shows the number of sales in 2021 year to date on the left-hand side, which was 69 versus 2020 year to date sales, which was 72. That is year to date homes sold in Back Bay. So the takeaway here is that the sales numbers are now back in line with what we saw in Q1 of 2020. So homes going under agreement at about the same pace as what we saw before the pandemic really hit, which is a positive sign. The other thing to consider is the number of active listings. So if we look at 2021 on the left-hand side of this graph, you can see right now, as of the recording of this video, there's 129 active listings on the market. If we look at that compared to 2020, which is the middle graph in gray there, the 72. Obviously, we're up over 2021, but when you look at 2019, which was Q1 2019, pre-pandemic, obviously, that number was 102. So if we look at the 102 on the right-hand side versus the 129 on the left-hand side, we can see that the market's still up about 25% over true pre-pandemic levels. March of 2020 had the whole market on pause, so there was a bit of a skewed number with that 72, and 2019 is the better comparison here. So as we look at 2021, the left-hand side versus the right-hand side, there is a pretty good trend here, and we're seeing more homes going under agreement each week, so that left-hand side number of 129 is actually coming down pretty much weekly at this point. I've showed this graph before. What we're looking at here is the number of homes listed and the number of homes that went pending or under contract, also known as under agreement, in the month. For each month, May of 2020 on the right-hand side, through the most current month, March of 2021. So it's about a year of rolling data. And what we're looking at here is the trend of pending versus listed. So as you can see, in the middle of the year, there was a big spike at 103. A lot of homes listed, not a ton of homes going pending. As we look at the left-hand side of this graph, basically November through March, those numbers are improving every month. We're seeing more homes listed and more homes pending. And March actually had the highest number of homes in any one month going under agreement during the past year. So there is more consumer confidence. That confidence led to not only a pretty significant uptick in the number of homes that went pending, but also resulted in the highest dollar volume of homes sold in the month. So this is just showing you again, right to left, May 2020 through, on the left-hand side, March 2021, the dollar value of homes sold. So as you would expect, with a lot more homes going under agreement, that March number of 64 million is pretty significant. And this one isn't one that I'll take too much time on, but it's always important to look at the list to sale price ratio just to see how homes are selling. Are they selling in line with seller expectations or the way in which listing agents are pricing the properties? It's 95% for the current year to date. If we look at 2020, it was 97. So a slight deterioration there, but sale prices are up over that time. So all things being equal, there is still improvement in the market, even though this ratio is slightly declined for the current year. Here is the good news for sellers. Prices are still up, as I just mentioned. This is the spread by bedroom count of homes sold. So the number of units sold, condos, and their corresponding price, and then the same thing for single families below. Key takeaways here: consumer confidence is on the rise. The market is rebalancing in favor of sellers, so it was very much skewed, as I've talked about a couple of different times in the past few months. It was skewed more towards buyers for a while, and that is now moving in the direction of sellers. So definitely a good thing for sellers. As we continue to see a bunch of older homes unwind and go under agreement, the market will continue to sort of shift and evolve, and that will help with upward pricing. So if you're a seller, that's good news. If you're a buyer, that's not great news. But the other thing to consider is that rates are slowly creeping up. So the 30-year fix, as I mentioned, is up a bit over what it's been, which is to be expected as the economy improves. We're anticipating that those rates will continue to go up. But we are still seeing multiple offers. I shouldn't say still. We are seeing multiple offers on homes that sat for a lot of last year. So I've seen in the last few weeks a number of homes that were not selling, do a price adjustment, and then have multiple offers. So the market has definitely, in the past 3 or 4 weeks, really picked up with buyer confidence. So things to think about there. Thanks for taking the time to watch that video with me. Hope you all are enjoying a nice break in the weather, a nice sunny 50-degree day here. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and we'll hopefully hear from you soon. Thanks.